everybody out there. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to get another perspective. And this particular episode segues from episode 4 for those of you who have listened and watched that particular session on how do you really know when it's the right time for a job or a career shift. And I have with me today Suzanne Cooley from Down Under, from Australia. She's been a long-term friend of mine that I've known for probably, and I don't want to age us, Suzanne. But Suzanne, I wanted to ask if you can give a little bit of background on yourself, where life took you from Canada to Australia, and a little bit on your career journey.
Well, Esther, I will start by saying I'm embracing our age because this year is a significant year for both of us. And, I think what that comes with that is experience and a lot of ups and downs. And we have known each other, I think, for almost 40 years. So I'll let everyone else figure that one out, how that could possibly be.
They can do the math.
But anyway, so I came back, moved over from Canada when I was 15, and that's a massive shift for anyone at that age. It's a really interesting time through when you're a teenager and having to adjust to a whole new country. But, I think that helped me become out of a shy person and helped me grow. I then, in a nutshell, went to university here in Australia, got a degree in journalism and communications. But, I finished that degree in the middle of the recession, so there were no jobs. So it was hard, and you have to actually put yourself out there. So I went down the track of a career that was nothing to do with my degree, but I will say that my degree helped me open doors to most jobs that I have had in my life. So I went down and actually joined Qantas Airways. Most people around the globe would know who that is, and stayed with them for over 13 years. And in the meantime, got married and had 2 beautiful girls, twins. And it was then when I was on maternity leave that I did my first Pilates class, popped them in the creche, and I loved how my body felt after that. So that's a little bit of history about me, and that is how I got into the health industry now, by doing my first Pilates class and loving how it made me feel.
Tell me a little bit about the difference on your point of view about working at a company for somebody versus a company that you started up and you now are a founder, a CEO, and the master of your own domain.
Well, like I said, Esther, I think, doing that first Pilates class, I loved how it made me feel. And when I was working for private enterprise, I went from Qantas to actually working for a government job as well. And that's very, very, very different from working for yourself. But, I had this passion of health and fitness when I was a young girl, always had that passion for that industry. And I remember, my family, even, dare I say, my beautiful mother, who said, it'll never take you anywhere. It'll never go anywhere. And I always say to my girls, they're 16 right now, and they're looking at what careers they should do. And one of the things I always say to them is follow your passion, because no matter what, if you go down a line because you want to go into your own business because you think it's going to make you money, well, that might work for a year or two, but in your heart, in your ingrained soul, if you have passion for something, you're going to want to work your 7 days a week, because that's what happens when you work for yourself, right?
Right.
There's going to be night work. There's going to be 7-day-a-week work. And if you don't have that passion for whatever industry you're in, whether it's working for yourself or whatever job, then you'll never be a success. I didn't do fitness to make money. I did it because I wanted to feel great about myself and have longevity in the way I felt. So I can remember, it's not as easy as jumping off a cliff and just going for it. Life doesn't always work like that. I was married, I still am, with 2 children. And it wasn't possible for me just to quit my job. I had to make money. So to follow my passion, I still had to make money to do that. So it is a balance, Esther. I think, You asked me the question, what the difference is from, going from working for someone else to working in your own business. Firstly, I'd say that you need to have the passion. And for me, I had to start slow. I did one class. I think one person turned up. I didn't care. I didn't expect to make $1 million just like that from doing it. I need to get experience. I need to learn from my mistakes. And that learning is vital. And that experience is vital. Unlike, going into a job and just getting paid by the hour, you don't always need as much experience, I think, too. You learn on the job and you still get paid. Whereas when you're working for yourself, you may not get paid whilst you're getting that experience. And that is something that may scare a lot of people. However, in the long term, and we need to look at the long term, that experience is just too important for success. It's not as regimented. When you're working for yourself, you have to be very, very flexible. You have to work different hours than you would when you're going to a 9-to-5 job. But the outputs and the benefits are so darn rewarding, or can be, if you have that passion for that, of course.
How do you maneuver, and is there actually a theorem, or is it really trying to navigate day by day and almost a trial and error?
Everyone knows me. They know that I'm very, very organized, and most of the time do make lots of mistakes. But I think there's people that can just wing it day to day and be successful. I'm not sure how they do that. But for me, I'm very structured. That's just my personality type.
You and I both. So, this is why we're still friends.
The preparation, I started the company when my side of the company when the girls were only babies. I was very, very prepared in everything we did. Did I make lots of mistakes? I felt like I did, truckloads of them. Did I have mother guilt? Oh, I still have it now, a little bit less, but I had enormous mother guilt. I would drag, well, not literally, but I would bring my children into our business in the evenings while I taught classes or did health coaching, or, they would sit in the waiting room doing handstands and all sorts of things, and while I was working. I found a video the other day where they videoed themselves when I can hear my music and exercise class in the background. I thought, gosh, I didn't even know they were doing that. And they had this beautiful video of them doing handstands. It's not a coincidence that my girls are now driven, confident, resilient, achieve amazing things. People just say, oh, wow, your kids do all these things. They're just on another spectrum. It's actually not a coincidence, I don't think. I think that it's not just luck that my kids have achieved what they have. I honestly think that it comes down to darn hard work, and my mother guilt has eased over the years because I hope that what they've learned from growing up in the business with us and seeing the hard work that we've given to our business, they've learned that those things as well. Or whatever you feel that you're sacrificing things, and you are, but in the long run, there's a lot of benefits to having kids seeing their parents work that hard and giving their all.
And what was the mantra behind building that business? Because you are up against the big gyms, the mega brands, and the chains, the franchises that are out there. What makes you and Kuli Health differentiated from those big brands, those big franchises, and what makes your clients sticky to you?
Really tough. It's like the little corner shop competing with the big supermarkets. And I can remember when I first sat down with my marketing person and doing our logos and we're talking about what our tagline was going to be. And I didn't have to think about it, to be honest. It just came out. I said, well, I want people to feel great.
Yes.
Because I would go back to the first Pilates class that I did, and I felt great. I felt like I had a massage after it. And with Kuli Health Clinic, we do massage and acupuncture, fitness classes, health and nutrition coaching. It was never going to get to be that way. It was just going to be a Pilates class. And I remember how it made me feel, and I felt great. So if I felt great, that's what I want every single client to feel like when they leave our premises, is that they'll feel great. We can't compete with the big guys. They, you know, but also I don't really want to.
Right.
You know, I don't really want to. We know everybody's names. We know people's families. People's families come, all the family comes and sees us. So we know what's wrong with people. We connect with people. And that's not saying that big gyms need to do that. Just they have a different business model than we do. So finding that thing that differentiates you from somebody else is going to be a winner, and you can actually market yourself around that.
Having gone through some of Suzanne's classes, and if you have been during COVID times a little bit down on your own health and exercising that you normally would have done, you may want to tune into some of her online classes, because she actually pushes the bar on what your capabilities are. And the biggest thing that I took away from what you just said, Suzanne, is really Kuli Health and the clients that you have really see each other as family. And your personable means of connection versus just networking, or they are clients to you, is the differentiated piece. They are family to you. You take a personal interest in them and their extended family. And I believe that's the core for where you're differentiated in that particular market. Tell me a little bit about those falls or those challenges. And is the whole mantra, some of our corporations say, fail fast and pivot. It's a theorem that says it's okay to fail. It's better to try than to analyze over and over and over again and never try something. And you're better off to fail fast and then pivot and then try something new, pivot again, and then you can refine.
Look, I honestly believe that review. So I am constantly reviewing the business. So if something's not working, I will try to find out pretty quickly and then try to make the changes. Now, those changes may not work, and if they don't work, then we make another change. But we're always reviewing on what's working, what's not, getting feedback from our customers constantly. I love it when someone gives me some constructive criticism. I think that's the best I could ever get. I actually like it better than positive feedback, because it gives me the opportunity to make those changes and make them quick. With COVID, a lot of gyms here in Australia have gone under. A lot of businesses, as it would all across the globe, have gone under. However, we were quick. We worked countless long nights just to try to get everything online. And with our classes, health and nutrition coaching, challenges, all those sorts of things fitness challenges and so on. And the feedback is that people wanted to continue when it comes back. So, and yeah, we fail all the time, but I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as an opportunity. I never look at these things as a failure. It's always an opportunity for making it better. So bring it on. Sometimes things just do not work out, and that it's not that you feel that you failed, and sometimes you can have the heartstrings get in there, and you think, oh, but I failed. But have you? I mean, it just didn't work. So move on. Like, keep it fresh. Work out if it has failed, then there's, let's look at how to work it out in a different way, and another door will open.
In terms of dynamicity and being able to get real life perspectives really means not being prepared for something either. So in this circumstance, I wanted to pose a gotcha question to you, Suzanne, something that you probably have been familiar with, which is, how do you, as an entrepreneur and as a woman leader, having founded your own business, define success? What does success mean to you?
The first thing that comes into my mind with anything is, what is the definition of success? I get it all the time, and I think, well, my definition of success could be completely different than my neighbor's or yours. So I think it's about defining what is your measure of success and having a plan on how to get there. Mine might be, I just want to to keep fit and healthy and maintain it for myself and whoever comes on the journey with me, great. Or I might think, you know what, I've got a fitness challenge, it's got 50 people doing it. I want to make sure that 80% achieve this result. And that might be my definition of success for that. Everybody has a different measure of their own success, and whatever that is, to be comfortable with that. And you might need to adjust that as well. You know, some
That's
people.
key. I was going to say, can your definition of success morph over time?
Oh, I think it definitely morphs over time. I remember when as we go back when I was, and I still do 2 jobs, by the way, because I have to put 2 girls through private schooling. I don't have to, but they are. So I'm still juggling that. So my definition of success right now is sometimes, and a different month might be different. It might be just staying above water mentally to try to juggle 2 jobs. Where in another month, it might be that, you know, I'm honing in on a few different big projects with the business, and I need to get to this level. And that's my definition of success. Roll back the years, you know, 15 years ago, where my definition of success was that one person would come to my Pilates class. Success, tick, winning. Where now, you know, that wouldn't keep me afloat. So absolutely morphs over time for me. Yes, so it just depends on what month it is as well.
A lot of people don't frame up success in a short term. They always think long term. And the first thing that naturally navigates in that longer term trajectory is, how much money am I going to make over time? And how much money are you going to make in that particular role? And how can you get into a better role that can make you more money? And I just wanted to broaden that context of success, which you've done beautifully, Suzanne, and eloquently have said. It really depends on that individual, on what that success is. I talked about in episode 4, one of the 3 patterns that I always ask my mentees to consider when looking for the next job or changing their career journey. And that is, find what your North Star is. That North Star, maybe for me, being able to make enough money so that I can not only take care of myself, but I have orphanages that, you know, and I don't have my own kids, but kids that are in a faraway land called Egypt, and they are right now the focus for where I want to be able to get them into an education journey and successful in their own realm. And without a job that can pay for my living expenses here, and then be able to go abroad and focus on education of those kids, I have to think about a job that makes me enough money, but the North Star are those kids. It's not the cash.
Lately that I've learned, and I wish I learned it earlier, is to really hone in on our own self-care and to be sure that whatever it is, whether it's, you know, reading a book or doing an exercise class or watching Bold and Beautiful, whatever it is, don't judge me, but whatever it is to look at, take a moment for self-care, this meditation or whatever, to center yourself, because this stuff isn't easy. And no matter if you're following your passion or whatever, there's challenges and dips in the road, and they are dips in the road. You can get out of them, and have those strategies on how to get out of the dips of the road. It's never a smooth sail. You know, you think that you're going to get here and it's a straight line, but it's not. There's dips in the road. The strategies to get out of those dips in the road, but self-care is so important for me, Esther, is that I've learned that a bit late. I would have liked to have learned that early on, is to make sure I look after myself. Put the oxygen mask on yourself, and then you can help others, right?
Actually, that's a nice little lift off into gotcha question number 2, because what I wanted to ask is, Suzanne, if you were to have a time machine and you were to go backward into time to a 20-year-old Suzanne, what would you tell yourself in that context of your career journey?
What I would have loved to have done is probably done it a little earlier. I would have loved to have done what I'm doing now a little bit earlier. And in hindsight, would have loved to tell my critics back then, and Pilates wasn't as popular as it is now. It wasn't on every corner like it is now, and you don't have a crystal ball. But I would have liked to have a bit more confidence, to be honest. And when someone said, "Oh, you can't really, do you really think you should do that?" Well, if it's a passion, you'll make it happen. And yeah, I think even though I would have told my 20-year-old self, you know what, just go for it. You'll find a way. You will find a way. If you have that passion for it, you will succeed. If it's just for the money, you won't. I don't think, mind you. There's others that would disagree. But if you do have that pure passion, life's too short, and it really is. You need to follow your dreams, and you'll find a way to do it.
I want to wrap this part of the episode up and say thank you. Congratulations on your business. I know that you've been pushing people to exercise, even during COVID, because it is important that you're always moving, and that time that you have for yourself and that you are feeding yourself will really come out and outcome to positive results if, again, you do take care of your own body and flesh and your mind. And so with that, I wanted to sign off, but thank you so much from your perspective and your point of view in giving a real light to how someone can take nothing and build something great that they can be proud of, and that you can share with your family and your daughters behind you. So thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. You'll feel great,
Oh, I will. I know. Take care. We'll see you next time, Suzanne.
Yeah. Bye.